Moving to Japan is a dream for a lot of people, me being one of them. At the end of 2020, I decided to set everything in motion to make that dream a reality. But we all know what happened next.
With Japan seeing a recent surge in coronavirus-related cases,
Japan is expanding its ban on
it's set to
foreigners.
declare a state of emergency as
Japan has
early
announced
as
it is
this
extending
Tuesday.
its emergency COVID restrictions to
Japan
counter
joins
a
Israel
surge in
and
cases.
Morocco in sealing its borders to all foreigners.
So that dream got postponed by over a year. And in this video, I want to share what my process of moving to Japan was like. So, I'm born and raised in the Netherlands. It's a really good country to live in, but especially when coming from a smaller city, it lacks excitement. I grew up in the outskirts of a relatively small city with about 80k inhabitants, with nothing much more to see than some bears. I don't know what's up with those either. So, for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to get away. Japan has always been high on the list of countries I've wanted to move to for a myriad of reasons, but especially the language, the culture, the geography, so many reasons. There are a few different ways to get to live in Japan, with being an English teacher being the most common one among them. I decided, however, that this wasn't necessarily for me. Not only is it kind of hard to get a good job as a non-native speaker in a large city, no matter how good your English actually is, but the ability to speak Japanese is, if not crucial, very beneficial if you ever want to do more than teach English. I'm not the kind of person who's very good at self-study, so I really didn't see myself learning Japanese without actually attending a school and putting some real effort into it. Which is why I went with the language school route. So I applied to a language school and started saving as much money as I could. I of course had to apply for a visa, which required several trips to the Japanese embassy in The Hague. And I had to find housing in Japan while I was still in the Netherlands. You can find plenty of real estate sites catering to foreigners with just a quick Google search. In my experience, they all have excellent service. Of course, the only thing you have to worry about is that in most cases you won't be able to inspect the apartment before you actually come here and sign the contract. And they often require you not only to pay a registration fee in advance to reserve whichever place you're going to be staying at, but they all also charge fees like key money, which is exorbitantly expensive. So to get around the problem of not being able to inspect the apartment in person, not only did I ask them to send me plenty of pictures, but I also made sure to choose an apartment that was relatively new. In my case, this apartment is from 2016, and luckily there were no problems. So on the 22nd of March, I was off to the airport to fly to Japan. Packed all my stuff, my parents drove me to the airport, and off I went. Due to the whole Russia-Ukraine thing, it means planes can no longer fly in a straight line from Europe to Japan, which meant that my flight took about 16 hours with a stop in Seoul, which I didn't particularly mind. Incheon Airport is a nice place to spend a few hours. From there, I went off to Japan. I went through quite a lengthy COVID test procedure and got out of the airport and into my taxi after about 4 hours of waiting. The ride from Narita Airport to Tokyo was quite something. I've been to plenty of big cities in the past before, but seeing the Tokyo skyline like that at night was like nothing I'd ever seen before. So, want to see whatever's to come? You know what to do. You can also find me on Instagram @JoeMolder, where I regularly post pictures in and around Tokyo. And with that, I hope to see you in the next video. Alright, well, there we go. Camera's almost dead. I hate this! Fuck me. Oh, it's awful.